Yeah, so I think the origins of the company, which is about 10 years now, we had this idea of revolutionizing how large room audio is done, making it much simpler, much more automated. And we had this person in mind that would want that would really be looking for that. And that person isn't necessarily someone from the traditional pro AV side of things. So a lot of people have talked about a shift over time from AV to more of an IT-centric perspective in terms of the market and the buyer. And we were designing for that kind of all along. What we've noticed though, and have been selling in that way for some time, and our products are built that way, but we did take note of some recent data around millennials in particular and Gen Z starting to make up the vast majority of B2B buyers, and that they have certain characteristics and a certain profile that's different from those that came before, and even those that would have been more of the majority 10 years ago when we started.
Yep.
And so we've taken note of that, and we've seen how that shift plays to the advantages that Nureva has always brought to the table in terms of making products that have plug-and-play simplicity, a lot of automation, app-driven, and that type of thing.
Yep.
And so we're feeling very much like that shift is continuing to happen, obviously, and that over time, our brand will rise to the top in terms of the preference because we fit with the needs and desires in the way that that group evaluates products and services.
Right. So that's easy to get your head around with smaller spaces where you have the 310, it's an amazing product, and it's a no-brainer for, I guess, smaller to medium spaces. So as you get to medium and large spaces, I guess the goal, the dream is to provide that plug-and-play simplicity of a small room to a larger room. But in my experience in Australia, those medium to large rooms, you have the consultants as the gatekeepers, and they generally want to roll their own solutions. Take best from best microphones, best speakers, they pick and choose and build a system. So what are you seeing? Where's the movement there?
I think we're seeing that ultimately, performance has to be there. And from a consultant point of view, so we work with consultants all the time, and we've actually been recently meeting with them talking about the new HDX product. And the things that we have heard is nobody else has anything like this out there. The ease of deployment, plus the aesthetics and all the other factors that are still part of the checklist, I guess, of what might go into one of these larger spaces. I think for a consultant, I can't totally speak for them, but I think they would say that they need to meet the needs of the client. And if the product meets the needs of the client and it's simpler to deploy and it's more cost effective to manage over time, then it's a win for the client and it's a win for them too.
Sure, that's a good answer and a little diplomatic. I guess what I'm hearing you say, then, but also earlier, is that, perhaps in these, say, Teams rooms in Australia, it's dominated by Teams, that the medium to larger rooms don't need to be necessarily have a gatekeeper. They can have an IT buyer who's possibly millennial Gen Z, and they want that simplicity of the small room simplicity of just plug it in, auto configure. It's no touch start, just plug and play. And they want that simplicity in a medium to larger space. So I guess what's your pitch to those buyers? Like, how does the Nureva offering neatly dovetail with the demands and expectations of those buyers?
So large room audio traditionally has been very difficult to implement and has involved a lot of cost and complexity. That new generation of buyer is looking for things to be simpler, more scalable, more plug and play. And those are the people that we're talking to, because that is how the product was designed from the ground up. So we are on a mission to bring the same simplicity of small rooms into larger spaces, because we think that's ultimately where everything is going to go one way or another, and that is what the market's looking for.
Yes. I guess that's the answer I'm after, and that's the insight I'm interested in, Darren.
Yeah.
But I guess to sort of round off the interview, so what's the kind of the journey from here for HDX? Like, what can people expect? I'm in Australia. When am I going to see a demo of HDX? Could I see it at the Integrate trade show in the first week of October? Is that possible?
You may be able to see a version of it there. So the rollout of the product, we've recently updated our timing. We're looking for availability in the summer of this year. There is a staging, though, country by country, depending on the certifications related to importing the product into various spaces. And so I don't have the specifics for Australia, but it's something that will be rolling out globally to all the areas where we have distribution.
That's great. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Certainly.
Have a great show.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.